Hello, beautiful people. You can check your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, and even your Mercury placement on this one. So when it comes to communicating with the air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, it is important to know three things. Number one, what an air sign says and thinks is situational. An air sign's perspective is based on how they assess any given situation. So just because they had a certain opinion about something one day does not mean that opinion is written in stone, nor will it be what they believe for all of eternity. Think about it. The element air is constantly moving, it's constantly changing, and an air sign's opinion and the way that they think is very similar. This is actually what makes them open-minded. They form their opinion based on each individual situation and the circumstances presented. So when you're communicating with them, know that they do mean what they say, but also know that what they say is subject to change if the circumstances change. Number two, when communicating with an air sign, the topic may switch up mid-conversation. Now, this won't necessarily be that frustrating for a fire sign because they will just go with the flow, they'll go with the switch up the majority of the time, and the conversation between the two of them will go great. However, when it comes to them communicating with an earth sign or a water sign, the earth or water sign may be thinking, wait, I just asked you a question about one thing specifically, and you're responding by talking about something else altogether. Then the earth or water sign will then proceed to define in their mind what this means about the air sign. So this would be good to know, especially for earth and water signs. When an air sign does this, it doesn't mean that they are avoiding the question. Well, sometimes it does. If they don't want to discuss what you are asking them about, they will intentionally switch up the topic because they usually don't come outright and say, I don't want to talk about this. But it could also mean, and more than likely actually, that whatever it is that you said to them triggered a different idea. So they start discussing that idea with you. Or even while you're asking the question, they noticed something going on nearby and they started sharing their thoughts on what they just saw because they thought it was funny or interesting. Now the point is, don't assume if an air sign changes the topic that they are avoiding the topic. If the question was important to you that you asked them, just bring the conversation back to the original question and you will eventually get your answer. Number three, they hate to feel interrogated. By this I mean, if you approach an air sign in a confrontational or accusatory way, where you are firing off questions, expecting them to answer in the way that you want them to answer, meaning you are expecting just yes or no answers so you can prove a point, well, that version of a conversation with an air sign is going to go very poorly. Air signs do not want to feel like they are being put on the witness stand if you want to discuss something with them. And even if you want to prove a point, they still need to feel like you are open-minded and you are willing to hear what they have to say. If they feel like you are open to discussion and willing to actually listen to what they have to say, the conversation will go so much better. But if they feel like you started the conversation by digging your heels in on a mission to prove them wrong, they are absolutely not going to agree to be part of your inquisition. So overall, when you are communicating with an air sign, the worst thing you can do is take what they say literally. You can take it seriously, but be very aware that it is subject to change. And this doesn't mean that they don't keep their word or that what they say can't be trusted. It just means that if they have said something to you under a certain set of circumstances and those circumstances change, well, it is likely that their perspective will change right along with those circumstances. So the best thing to do with an air sign is remain open-minded and remain engaged in ongoing communication with them. Periodically check in with them on points that really mean something to you. Ask questions like, hey, are you still cool with this? Or are you still willing to do something else that you asked them about? Also let them know that with you, they have the freedom to change their mind and you won't freak out. If you do that, the safer they will feel with you and the better the two of you will get along and the more likely they will be to be honest with you and be open with you because they won't be trying to avoid drama. They will know that you don't react dramatically if they change their mind. So if you are dating an air sign or communicating with them under any circumstances really, it is important to know that their style of communication is different than yours. So if you have any questions or doubts, communicate for clarification because remember, more than attraction, more than sexual compatibility, and more than just having things in common, the true key to a successful, long-lasting relationship is communication. And in order to effectively communicate, we have to understand and embrace each other's language. I hope you found the information useful. If you did, please don't forget the baby tap. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and hang out with me. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video.